What now? To train chickens to fulfill their destinies. What now? To train humans to fulfill their destinies. What now? To train guardian angels to fulfill their destinies. And now it's kind of like a lazy Susan or a carousel.
Yeah.
And it's rotating, and we're looking at the trip through the belly of the beast.
That's true.
The drive through Orlando. And we're supposed to say what we know. And this body-mind has grown up within driving distance of Orlando, has lived here throughout the growing up process.
That's true.
Within driving distance of Orlando, and saw Orlando before Disney World was there, when it was just a beautiful little citrus town with lakes and hills, lovely oak trees, prairies, swamp, which is marsh. Marsh is freshwater marsh. Just absolutely spectacularly gorgeous. And we watched Disney come, and we watched everything that paraded after Disney. And what is happening there is relentless destruction.
That's true.
Absolutely relentless. They aren't stopping until it's all gone, until it's fully destroyed. We're driving through there, and it's torn up to make more roads, to bring in more people, to build more houses, to put in more roads.
That's true.
And in this, it looks like hell. It actually looks like hell. And there is a solo wood stork. Wood storks are flock animals.
That's true.
Standing in this devastation, looking shattered.
Yes, that's true.
And then we continued on to a nature preserve that we have known since 1969.
That's true.
And the skies are empty there. Also, there is a large flock of vultures that feeds at the dump that's across the highway. The
That's
nature
true.
preserve is on one side of the highway, and the vultures roost there. They sleep there, and they commute across the road to the dump. They
That's
feed
true.
at the dump. And also in that very large flock of vultures, there was one wood stork all alone other than the vultures, and this is just heartbreaking to see. And this nature preserve used to host an extremely large flock of sandhill cranes.
That's true.
Hundreds and hundreds, could be 500 sandhill cranes, I don't know, really, really, really big flock. And we didn't see a single sandhill crane, not one.
That's true.
We were talking to the owners of the nature preserve. It's a privately created nature preserve. And they didn't seem to care about the loss of wildlife. It was really disturbing.
That's true.
For him is the message. Why do you ask? We have not lost the touch of clearing a room or dropping them into stunned silence.
That's true. Now what it feels like is they're really hoping that we've forgotten that third topic that they brought up at the very start of the session.
It's coming next.
I feel
All right, so thank you for saying that it's time to move on to that third topic. There's a client who is really loyal to Charlie and Betty Jean and whoever the soul is who was Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, that's true.
Who was Charlie's wife in that one lifetime that everybody talks about. They were married. They had a couple children before he was executed.
That's
And
true.
she and the children moved to France. And this is pretty well documented. And they continued their lives in France under some threat. They were kind of like in the witness protection program.
That's true.
And that's what the Knights Templar were formed to do. They were formed to protect the heirs, protect the children. That's what we've been told.
That's true.
We don't know whether or not that's true. Not being members of the Knights Templar.
No, that's true.
But that's what we've been told. And this one client is very loyal to those three. And she started having shoulder pain, and it came up in a session, and the shoulder pain is caused by those three souls dumping their garbage into her life. When they dump their garbage, her shoulder hurts.
That's true.
And they seem to think that she would be happy to accept their garbage as a service to spirit.
Yes, it's true. That's the feeling.
Even though they themselves are not willing to accept the garbage of their own supervisors.
That's true.
And she contacted us and asked for help and to figure out what to do. And so we said, well, look, it's these three. They're dumping their garbage into your lives. That's what's creating the shoulder pain, and we're not the one to call the shots. How do you feel about this? Is it okay with you? If it's okay with you, then just offer up the pain as a service to spirit. And the other option is, if it isn't okay with you, then just live stream up, pass them to their supervisors, send up the pain when it's occurring and saying, here's this pain data for you and in the professional assessment of, and it's okay to point to us in the professional assessment of the collective known as the Lynn life. It's coming from those three souls. And to live stream is like praying to spirit without making a request. But that prayer attitude of communion and communication, here's what's going on. So to just send that up. And when she read that email, the pain started diminishing. Just
That's
reading
true.
the email, physical pain and also her emotional distress.
That's true.
Started diminishing. And what seems to have happened is that Charlie and Betty Jean and whoever that third soul is, just they really thought that the client would say, oh, we're very happy to accept your garbage and suffer the pain as a service to spirit.
Yeah, that's right.
Even though Charlie and Betty Jean and that third soul don't feel that way about any of their higher powers.
Oh, that's true.
They just seem unable to extrapolate, and we see how Lucy, that now dead chicken, was unable to extrapolate, and Charlie and Betty Jean are unable to extrapolate. And in between, the humans who are destroying Florida are unable to extrapolate.
That's true.
For whom is the message, and why do you ask? Flawed conclusions based on wishful thinking. That's what we think the issue is. We believe the issue is flawed conclusions based on wishful thinking. In answer to the question, I apologize, somebody asked, what do you think is going on there? And we think it's flawed conclusions based on wishful thinking. For him is the message, and why do you ask? I think what we really want to get across is that the captain is a good rooster. Captain Rhett Butler. He's a real Southern gentleman, and he's a rare rooster. He's extremely rare, and we pray on his behalf. Can you get his friend Connie to do her job so that she also isn't dispatched? Because we have to dispatch her if she won't do her job. Our job is to train presences to live their soul plans, and we're not going to harbor oppositional, defiant lives here. We're not going to do that.
That's true.
We will offer to her, as we offered to the 3 recently departed hens, to run away and live on the streets. But Connie had lived on the streets before she came to us, and she has been telling us in no uncertain terms this past week she would rather die than live on the streets again. And
That's true.
That seems to be the choice she's making. And The point is, all she has to do is lay eggs, and she's young and healthy. There's no reason why she can't.
That's true.
When she was completely ragged street chicken, she was laying eggs, and now she looks like a beautiful showbird.
That's true.
And she has stopped laying eggs because she thinks she's too good. Just for status.
That's true.
And I know this is tied into the Christ presences and how apparently they think they're too good to do anything. For him is the message. And why do you ask?